And so I'm just hoping for the future that, maybe we won't need to have doctors dig up in our prostates at a certain age to find out. Maybe we just swallow this little pill cam, or maybe we suppository pill cam, and and then then we don't have to have the whole procedure.
Well, I just don't understand why you are advocating for us not having a close relationship with our doctors. I personally like a little bit of insidey poo.
Yeah. And with our history of doctors, our mutual experience with one doctor.
Man. There's going to be an update.
How's he doing, you think, huh? We haven't really revisited
honestly,
that at all.
we should let's look it up.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes. I think it starts with your show.
Just to give context, I literally got out of bed 5 seconds ago.
Nice, man.
Elliot, you look like you've been up forever.
No, I really haven't, but thank you. Well, actually, I have been up for a little bit. I've been up since like 7:30, I guess.
I started to play with like the times to like, because if we're saying we're gonna record at 9 a.m., which we are, which is what time it is right now for us recording this, maybe not for you listening to it, maybe not for when we posted it, but I like to edge. I like to go as close as I possibly can to the recording time. So like, my alarm was set for 8:30, which was really a very liberal time to wake up. It wasn't what it was. I was being very. I was being loose. I was being fast and loose with it. But usually I'm just kind of rolling around in bed a little bit.
I can't sleep that late anymore. I don't think. I kind of wake up now naturally.
You're officially an old guy. You're officially an old guy.
It happened. It's not. I'm not old. Like I don't have the prostate thing yet. Like the doctors aren't touching me in that way yet. But I'm getting there.
Aww.
Yeah.
It's like I like a good sunrise. You're one of them guys now.
It's just the morning when no one else is awake yet and the city's still asleep, and you just feel like it's all just you and your thoughts, and you have a nice cup of joe and you get ready for the day. It's beautiful. Maybe pray a little bit, journal. It's wonderful. Meditate.
Pray to who?
Pan.
Oh yeah, good. Pan's the new one.
Yeah, Pan's the new one.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly go through our morning routines. So Elliot, you're an early riser these days.
Just a bit, yeah.
And Joe, for me, I just kind of
Do you guys do Wordle first thing?
I don't do Wordle. Is that bad? Should I do Wordle?
I do Wordle about every single day. Then I go from that to connections, from connections to strands.
So what's the newer one? There's like a new. Strands. Am I missing out on these things? Should I be doing these things?
I think they are a good mental exercise right when you get up. They make you, they tickle the brain. They make you think a little bit differently. Elliot, I usually wouldn't do that routine, but lately I've been staying up too late. And when 12 a.m. hits, I'm like, I waste my opportunity.
I'm just a doom scroller.
That's like when Krispy Kreme turns the light on or something, when the new Wordle pops at 12.
That's right.
So did you now quick question or quick recap, I guess. Steve informed us on the text thread that he has watched Chimp Crazy, which we talked about last week. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like you were maybe a little verklempt or taken aback by it, Steve.
It just, I mean, like,
how did it make you feel?
Well, overall, it really angered me.
You seemed angry.
I never really have been this angry. Like it really made me very angry. Like, is it meant to make you very angry, you think?
I was angry even at the filmmakers.
Well, I had some, I couldn't, I don't know. I was kind of angry at them, but then I was like, but this is how you got to do it. This is investigative journalism. Don't you agree?
You guys were so angry that the text thread of you talking about it made me never want to watch this show.
It's very compelling. It's very well made. And if you liked the Tiger King at all, if you like the Tiger King show, then this is like an incredible follow-up to that. Like, it really is an incredible companion piece to the Tiger King. It's the same people who made it, Joe. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, I wonder what animal is going to fill the trilogy.
I know. There really should be a third. But it's interesting how they kind of came out of nowhere with this, like, you know, this chimpanzee thing, this monkey thing, because, you know, we as a society, we've always enjoyed the merriment that is accompanied by the, you know, just by watching chimpanzees and watching monkeys. We think they're cute, they're fun, they're
in the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey.
That's right. Butane in my
On the brain.
Time is a piece of wax falling on a termite, choking on
the splinters.
And so yeah, I was like, but it's just old. You know, we like, there was a time when chimpanzees and monkeys were like in movies and TV shows and in print and all, you know, everywhere you looked, you know, you'd go get a birthday card and it'd be like, I'm going monkey over you, I'm going ape over you, and it'd be like a picture of an ape, right? And so, but those days are gone. They kind of just quietly stopped. Like, there's no more apes in movies, there's no more chimpanzees in TV shows. Like, did you guys notice this abrupt end to chimpanzees being used in popular culture?
Hold on, the silence is me thinking about it.
Okay.
I will fill the silence by saying I didn't realize it until they kind of touched on it in that documentary.
Isn't that interesting? Because
it stopped in the 90s. Like the 90s, there was a lot, and then the early 2000s, there was not.
Right. It seemed to be like,
well, Dunstan checked out. You know what I mean?
Dunstan did check out. And it was
that monkey and that little chimp, that little whatever the hell it was in Friends. It wasn't a chimp, it was a tiny monkey.
Yeah, it was like a capuchin or something.
Everyone went to like heaven. They retired in the show. They got off. He went away. They wrote him out.
Right, because PETA, which we don't necessarily super love, because PETA does extreme things and
cool. Covered in red paint right now.
Yeah, or you just start to slowly pour blood all over yourself. But, you know, and so the show just really kind of shines a light on something that's happening underneath our noses, just under our very noses in our backyards in the United States. There's just these like, and Elliot, you know, you mentioned that this was like a Facebook thing. And I was like, how could this possibly happen on Facebook? And then you see that there's just this,
and then it just shows you Facebook.
It shows you Facebook, and there's
the Facebook.
Yeah, here's the Facebook, and they're like, this is, you know, if you have $35,000 lying around, pun intended, you could buy a lion or or a monkey or whatever, you know. And it's happening on Facebook right now. You could just go buy a monkey if you want one, and they'll bring it to you. And there's no law against owning a monkey.
But when you get it on Facebook, it is a MAGA monkey. And it comes
Monkeys for Trump. Elliot's having an existential crisis right now.
Look how good the camera is, though. Good for him.
But Joe, but you know, I think I really have to establish about this chimp crazy thing is the thing that's really important is, and why Elliot mentioned that he was a little upset with the filmmakers is because, you know, they knew this would be the follow-up to Tiger King, and they were hoping it would be. And while they're making it, they're trying to infiltrate this like chimpanzee exotic animal trading selling ring, and that's happening in, you know, the Midwest, or happening in actually in Stamford, Connecticut, which is where Mike Falzone and like our buddy Matt Robb, like they're all from Stamford, Connecticut. And so they're trying to infiltrate this exotic animal thing, but they don't want to scare them off by being like, we're the people that made Tiger King. So they find this like circus guy that like, you know, is one of them, worked in the circus circles, worked with animals, worked with like all these types of people. And they get him to say he's making a documentary about like circus people. And so they trick these people into letting them into their disgusting behavior. And so it is a little immoral, I think. And is that where you're upset, Elliot?
It was not so much that part. I mean, I kind of thought that was funny that the dude thought he was so famous from Tiger King that he had to get like a faux dummy director. Like,
but I get it.
Like,
but he
no
did.
I wouldn't know the guy from. I mean, maybe those people would.
Those people would.
Because they're going to be on the lookout for him. But the part that I didn't love, that I was a little bothered by, was after they have that like moral dilemma.
Oh,
like
yeah.
3/4 of the way in.
Yeah.
And I was like, not on the side. I was on the side of the moral dilemma of like, you need to get that ape out of there right now. I don't care. Like, get it out. And they were like
a child protection services situation.
Yeah, but
services, MPS.
But there was this really compelling, you know, piece of it was compelling surrounding that decision because they interviewed this journalist, and this journalist had worked with like, you know, helping PETA capture, you know, not capture, but they would love to call it capture. But that was like Joe, it's infuriating. It's an infuriating show.
Sounds like I don't need this.
But it's infuriating in the way that makes you want to help these helpless animals that are just wild animals that don't know any better, and they're being exploited and they're being, you know, mistreated. And so, you know, they had that journalist there that was like, I know what it takes to get the story. You know, this is a seasoned guy. He's an older gentleman. He's like, I know what it takes to get the story. And I thought it was really well done that there was a crossroads where some extreme abuse was about to happen to this poor chimpanzee, and they learned it in secret, literally in secret. And they go to the journalist guy and they're like, do we like keep going for the story, or do we like, you know, save this chimpanzee? And you're right, it is upsetting, but I found it compelling.
Netflix ordered 10 episodes, Steve, not 8. So
I know, right? I know. But I thought it was like, you know, really infuriating. And Alan Cumming is in it, and he's so great. We love Alan Cumming.
As like the narrator? What is he doing?
He's like a guy that worked with these chimps in one movie in the 90s and like really bonded with this one particular chimp or ape. And I think it was a chimp. I can't remember.
I think it is a chimp, yeah.
Chimp, yeah. And like disappeared. They like loses track of do you remember the chimp's name? Tonka. Yeah. And so it's just Alan Cumming throughout the documentary being like, I just want to find Tonka. I hope Tonka's okay.
We bonded.
He does like speeches for PETA. He does like whole like press conferences trying to like to locate this.
Always dressed as Nightcrawler.
Yeah, right. Yeah. With the blue makeup and everything.
And like he does it from the wall, like so like really wild.
But you know, they interview him and they ask him, you know, and he admits that he was, you know, spellbound by these chimpanzees. And you know, imagine getting hired for a movie and you have to spend all day with like cute little chimpanzees.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
Like, the dream.
It's the dream.
It's like,
but aren't you perpetuating what we're talking about?
It is like Muppets and then chimpanzees, isn't it? Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
We're perpetuating what that exact documentary is about.
That's true, but it was at a time. This was like the mid to late 90s or something. You know, you got those little chimpanzees and they're wearing suspenders. They're wearing little cute little people clothes. And then and Alan Cumming describes meeting Tonka for the first time, and it's touching. He says that it like was holding on to the handler and it ran over to him and gave him a big hug and like, you know, it was all loving and really sweet, and you're just like, well, how can you not fall in love? And that's what he admits, is that he fell in love with these animals and was like obsessed with them and maybe even wanted one himself. But the truth is, and what you learn is, and this is pretty obvious, I feel like, is that these chimpanzees, they're cute, they're lovable, they're fun until they get to a certain age. And then they're dangerous.
Because dementia sets in.
Because, yes, early onset chimpanzee dementia sets in. And then you can't just have them around. Because if you have them around and they're not in an enclosure, after a certain age, they're a liability. They rip people's faces off.
Do they go into that at all? Like
yes, they do.
Nature of owning a chimpanzee?
Yeah. Yes, they do. And it's compelling and incredible and infuriating.
Yeah, what I've learned here's my takeaways. Two things. One, I shouldn't have changed it to MPS, Monkey Protection Services. I'm stupid. It stays as CPS, which makes the joke better. It would have been Chimp Protection Services. Mm-hmm. So I apologize for that. And also, Mike and Matt and Brett.
And Brett, that's right.
No, Brett's not from.
No, they all have the same birthday.
So Mike and Matt might be monkeys in soup.
Human Z. Maybe they're Human Z.
That sounds like a sex thing.
Human Z is what one of the women called her particular chimp. And
name, or that's lovingly like a pet name.
No, it was like they believed that because they raised them like a child, that they grew up to be half human, half chimpanzee.
Wild.
It is wild.
It was an incredible documentary, Joe. Incredible. And it's like, I think it's only like, how many episodes? Like 6 episodes?
Yeah, it's all out now.
It's done, yeah.
It was last week, I think, that the final episode aired, and it was like we were like checking HBO to like see when it was. Yeah. And, like Mamrie was over, and she was like about to leave, and she was like, "If that is on," she was like, watching, "I'm staying," and we were like, "Yeah, I'm staying." Okay. You could stay, but
okay, 6 episodes, maybe. We'll see.
Just watch the first 2, because the second episode ends in such a way that you're just like, well, I have to finish this.
Yeah.
It just gets you so good at the end of the second episode, Joe.
Okay, all right.
Because you can't believe the hubris. There's just so much. You cannot believe these people exist. They just lack self-awareness. They lack critical thinking. We talk about this a lot, about how critical thinking.
Talking about the owners, the people that choose to own, or the people that choose to sell?
The owners. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just a big, bad, horrible chain reaction. It starts with the people who foster them or the people that like, you know, buy them from the illegal sources or whatever, and then those are the people that are like, dude, you just don't know what you're in for. Like there's a woman who's feeding. Hold on, I have to clench my fists.
Like this? It's feeding.
Yeah, I have to. No, because that would shit, that does happen actually. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's also just a beautiful woman.
She's gorgeous. I mean, she's gorgeous. I have to clench my fist while I say this part.
I hate to make fun of appearances, but she is one of those that has made it purposely hard on herself.
Dude, so hard. And if you're gonna be so public.
She made it purposely.
She got she's got to bear some responsibility.
Yeah. It is crazy. It's like a different kind of clown. Like we're
it's
seeing
like
clowns.
truly unconscious, like clown. That is like mentally ill.
Dude, absolute a showcase of mental illness, of hubris, all those things. But at one point, Joe, this woman she has like 7 chimpanzees that she's watching over, and she just brings them fucking Happy Meals, dude. She brings them Happy Meals and like daily, and then like donuts and fucking like nasty, horrible sugar and carbs, and they're addicted to it, and then they're overweight, and then they have health problems.
Does she let them keep the toy?
I honestly, she might, yeah.
Well, then I think she's a pretty good girl.
Then maybe she's good, yeah. Good.
Do you remember
parent.
the part that I told you about last week when he's secretly jerking off?
Dude, and she's like, yeah, he just jerks off when he sees me. No problem.
He gets shy.
She does not say jerk off.
Well, no, but in so many words, she's like, yeah, under the blanket. And when I come in, he's just.
I wish she did say jerk off, because that would be good interview fodder.
But I could only. Oh yeah, I mean, and Joe, that to your point, like these filmmakers, they're like, and this is the thing, because everybody's got their motivations, and these filmmakers are trying to make the next Tiger King, and you can feel them like freaking out about what they're getting. Like you can feel, that guy that made the Tiger King is like, this woman is a fucking gold mine. This woman, we just need to feature this fucking woman, and we've got a new Tiger King. And so you can feel them being like, we want this to be extreme. We want this to be bigger and better than Tiger King. So that's the part that feels a little disingenuous and like a little gross. But overall, they're shining a light on this horrible shit. And I think it's just infuriating. It's infuriating.
I truly am thinking. Oh, go ahead, Elliot. Go ahead.
No, after you, Joe. Sorry.
I was going to say, I truly am thinking of like, everything comes in threes. There will be a trilogy.
Yeah.
In a couple years. So I'm trying to like, there's probably going to be like an over-under on what animal they're going to feature. And here's my thoughts. It better not be orcas, because we've been there. Their plight needs to be, highlighted, of course. I'm not saying it's not what it used to be, but the heroes of we've done that. Chicken farms, etc., the farming and meat industry, been kind of done.
Yep.
What if it was something like a simple choice, and we know is happening, but actually putting a magnifying glass on it? And I'm talking like puppy mills.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Puppy mill might be the
underground
cute.
horrible breed, like dog breeding, purebred bullshit that goes on in the world.
You know what, Joe? That's really good, actually, because I think that what made the chimp crazy concept a bit more alluring was that there are recorded accounts of violent, horrible attacks as a result of the mishandling, the mistreatment of these animals, and that made the whole thing juicier. So if there's like a juicy, because there's certain dog breeds that cause a lot of controversy, like pit bulls and things like that. Like, should we have pit bulls? Should they exist? Should we stop the bloodline?
So
I know
cute.
they're so sweet, but then they fucking snap on a dime, and the next thing you know, a baby lost its leg.
Stop perpetuating pit bull anti.
Hey, listen. There's enough information.
How dare you?
Elliot loves pit bulls.
I love pit bulls.
Go hug the big head.
I
They
know.
don't scare me at all. They don't scare me at all. They don't scare me at all.
Elliot,
Especially
you're
based on my history of having dogs in my life.
You got puppies all up in it. Exotic animal. You just got episode after episode of puppy. Well, you got that. People are going to be in for that.
Yeah.
Then said just the disgusting nature of it all. I've got some friends that have rescued basically super exhausted super moms, dogs that were just there forever to keep doing litter after litter after litter.
They got them big nippies.
Yep, big nippies are 4 years old, still kind of young, but just exhausted.
Yeah,
I
and
know,
they're just
it's
meant
awful.
to breed, right? They're just like there to breed. Ugh.
Gross. It's gross.
Well, that's
Yeah,
they go
yeah,
into that with the chimpanzees too. There was like one woman they profile, and she was like breeding them, like
Mhm.
in her own like facility. And these are people that have zero qualifications, like literally zero.
Yeah, it's like they just make it up. They
They
just
make
kind
it
of
up. They
yeah.
make it up. Yeah,
I think
that's
puppy
fun.
mill is good. I'm trying to think if there's a one that's like a different kind of exotic thing besides puppy mill.
I have a second pitch based off of where I grew up, and I don't think this place exists anymore, but others do. Where I live, up in Columbia Falls, Montana, that area, a sister town called Hungry Horse, just down the road on the way to Glacier National Park, we had a drive-through bear enclosure.
Excellent.
Oh my
massive piece
god.
of land where you could drive in your car, you could drive through the forest, and there'd be like a bunch of bears.
Kevin, pack up the camera.
I love that Elio's like, excellent.
We're in. I'm going.
Here's the thing.
Let's go.
Workers attacked numerous times to the point where it's like, the guy that handles the bears was attacked again. One guy that I kind of knew might have been attacked twice. Eventually got shut down, but there are places like that.
Attack once, shame on the bear.
Yeah. Dude, money,
twice.
it's that greed and that power that they feel probably. They're like, yeah, we got these wild animals under control and
you
we're
seen,
making money.
Like in Russia, like they have bear like sanctuaries where it's just men that like hang out with bears all the time.
Dude, I'm
like,
obsessed. There's some TikTok accounts like that.
really.
Just wrestling bears.
They're
Watch
just
me
like,
wrestle.
they like, got their arms around this big fucking grizzly bear and they're like feeding it cereal with a big novelty giant spoon. And they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, you're going to get your face goned.
What, Joe, back to this bear thing.
Yeah.
Because what I'm imagining is like we used to have this place called, I think, a beverage castle is what it used to be called. And you would drive through it, not get out of your car,
Mm-hmm.
and be and someone would bring you like snacks, like a gas station that you don't get out of your car.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but they're bears. You just
Bears
you
on
just,
roller skates bringing you burgers.
What do you
Kevin,
want? Like
grab a
chewing gum?
No, they just had a bunch of bears, and just kind of roaming around, and they could walk up to your car and shit. And
They
it's
can
kinda
walk
like-
up to your car?
Yeah, it's kind of like those like safari videos.
Safari.
You'd see people- Yeah, I'd be like, oh man, well now there's a giraffe's head in our car, and that's cute. But this would be with bears.
And that's the thing. It's like
Windows up.
they're preying on the curiosity of humans. Like, if you told me there's a drive-through bear sanctuary, I'd be like, well,
if it's on the way home.
yeah, I need, if it's on the way home.
We have bear sanctuary at home.
It brings up like a lot of things. I understand it, but I've never, really enjoyed, after being 8 years old, the concept of a zoo. Like whenever I go to a zoo, I'm just looking at the saddest animals on earth.
Yeah.
And I'm never like, this is so much fun. I'm like, that bear is depressed.
Yeah.
Giraffe has.
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean, I kind of agree, and I also kind of think some zoos do a lot of good work, but it's hard not to project some sadness onto them. How could they be as happy? Like some of the enclosures are like incredible, but even then, like in Animal Kingdom, for example, they have like really crazy, cool enclosures that keep them pretty stimulated. At the same time, it's still an enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Well, my thought is like, old zoos really were like, we don't give a shit. We painted a jungle vista on in this like room, and that's what they
come
get.
look at it.
Yeah, and we threw a tiger in there, and now they think they're in the jungle because the painting looks like the jungle.
There's this part in the documentary, Joe, where she gets pissed at a box of animal crackers because
Oh my
PETA
God.
had the bars on animal crackers taken off. It used to be that the box of animal crackers, they were behind bars.
Like a circus, like
Yeah.
train car.
And
Yeah.
now they're
like a train
not.
car, yeah.
And she's infuriated.
Well, they took the bars away.
Isn't that ridiculous?
I think it's disgusting. And her voice, her whole demeanor. This
It's like
woman,
if Trump became
you're right. Like if one day Trump woke up and was a woman.
Dreams come true.
And then her poor children.
it happened.
Like she's on record saying that she cared more about her chimpanzees than her own children.
Like repeatedly.
I mean,
too.
Guys, that's fair.
Repeatedly.
That is fair because many people are like, my dog's my favorite child. So I understand that. I get that.
Yeah, but they kind of say that in jest, right? They say with a little bit of like it's cheeky, you know, like they don't really mean it. But this woman really meant it. Like she loved the chimps more than her children. It like truly she meant it. And then they were like $10,000 reward, $20,000 reward for this, like for the whereabouts of this chimpanzee. And I was like, dude, that kid, her son is gonna flip so fast. Like wouldn't you, if your mom was like, I love the chimps more than you? I'd be like, fuck you then. Let me get that 20 grand. You know what I'm talking about, Elliot?
I'm not gonna lie, I zoned out.
All right, well, listen to this. Let me tell you this. We were talking about those tourist traps that are like, you know, like you were saying, Joe, drive-through bear thing or whatever. But have you heard of these like dinner theater places that are like all over the Midwest? And they don't have them here, but they're almost like medieval times. But it's like Jim and Jane's Hootenanny Review dinner theater, and you go and it's like a super Disneyland themed like barn, and you go inside and you watch like a show. You never heard of these places?
Wait. Now, are we talking about animals still?
No, we were talking about tourist attractions like the bear drive-through thing. Like, you know, like
It's part of the podcast where we all mutually stop listening to each other.
yeah. Like, what is it, 9:39?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're wrapping up. It's, you know, we were talking about like those tourist trap places.
Dude, I grew up all around them.
But did you ever go to those like dinner theater places?
We didn't have dinner theater. We had bear enclosures. We also had one of those mystery spots where it's like the gravity in the world is different and it'll stand like this. We had one of them. It's called the House of Mystery. Had that. We had so many just like outdoorsy weird shit spots.
I've discovered that there are just these like, and there's like endless dinner theater type places in the Midwest, in the middle of the U.S.
I did not know. That's
Yeah.
a trend that escaped me.
It feels like one of those things where I'm like, you know, because you know how old people, they get the map of all the Cracker Barrels and they're like, we're going to go on a road trip and go to every Cracker Barrel in the U.S. You ever seen those guys?
No, but that's what the third documentary should be.
Oh, my God. It should be about the people that go to the Cracker Barrels and then the corruption at Cracker Barrel.
Oh man, if you start taking that, you start going into that. Where does it end? I mean, Cracker Barrel
it's an institution.
If you discovered some evil stuff going on at Cracker Barrel, because it is, I went there not long ago, about a month ago, and after Grace and I went camping on the way back.
Oh, on the way back from camping.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I was like,
okay.
"Babe, we gotta do Cracker Barrel on the way back." She was like, "Okay." She's like, "I don't know if I've ever been."
Oh,
And I was like, "Well, here we
you're
go."
in for
and
it.
she was like, "She got pancakes. It was fantastic." And then I got candy on the way out.
Mm-hmm. There's that little general store that sells like arts and crafts and toys and shit.
Total
You
garbage.
get a little
It's
pouch
garbage.
full of smooth rocks.
Yeah. And like tie-dye shirts with the American flag on it.
Yeah.
Did you get a little tiny pickaxe for mining?
Yeah. That little game, you know, the little with the pegs. That's the word ignoramus on it.
Yeah. My favorite experience at a Cracker Barrel was bringing a vegetarian there. I think I told you guys this. And we were like ordering
for 37 minutes.
we were just like ordering food, and then they go like, "What do you have, sweetheart?" And she goes, "Do you have anything that's like that doesn't have meat in it?" And she looked at us like we didn't like where like get out.
Yeah, when
There's the door.
When we were there, we saw y'all's face on the wall.
Yeah,
They were
don't
like,
let
"Not
them
welcome."
in. Not welcome. And the woman thought about it for like way too long, and then was like, "The green beans have bacon in it. Does that work?" Like couldn't even be bothered with the concept of vegetarian like food in their head. You know,
They just saw the color green and were like, "What matches green?"
you can pick the bacon out of the green beans. Yeah, all right, let's go. That's if that's all we got. But I fucking love Cracker Barrel, man. If they attack Cracker Barrel, I'm coming out with chains, and I'm chaining myself to one of those rocking chairs.
Have you guys seen on one of the newer cruise ships? They have a dining experience on a rail car where you go and it's a rail car, like a train, like an old timey train. You sit down, the windows have like screens. So that like makes and then the whole thing will rock like a train. And they give you multiple courses, and then the train gets robbed. Like an old Western thing. And so there's a dinner and a show, and you have to eventually help them save the train and then eat your food.
I fucking
For an
love
extra
it.
$37, we'll let you put down a horse.
That's basically it. On the cruise ships now, you can put down horses.
But it's ones they were going to put down anyway. They just load them up with sick horses.
Took me a second to get on board with this, but you just said on a ship, a cruise ship in the water, you are doing a old-timey train experience.
Yeah. Like, why? Like, what of all the meetings that you have in a corporate world, how many had to go well for your train dinner idea to become a reality?
But you know what, man? Like, but don't you love the concept? Like, I love it.
Do you have you seen this? Do you know what it is?
No, I have not, but it sounds like these dinner theater things I was telling you about, where they just do a review, like a show, like fucking Medieval Times or whatever. And it kind of blows my mind a little bit that there isn't more things like that here. Like, all we have that's like that here is like, there's some, I remember like before the pandemic, there were like theater troupes that would do like Mean Girls, the musical, while you have like a sandwich or something, you know, like it's in LA. But like, there's just, I've never seen those like imagine if they said they opened a train car that moves and looks like it's on rails, then it gets robbed. Like, wouldn't you go to that if that was here?
I could hear like a bumpy rot.
I just looked at that link, Elliot, and that shouldn't be that cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine if they
crazy.
did that here. Like, why don't they have that here?
It shouldn't be that cool.
It shouldn't be that cool, but it is.
On a cruise ship. That's the funny part to me. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
So, okay, so if we were going to make a dinner theater experience, because you guys have heard about Casa Bonita, right? Like, that's another...
That's owned by the dudes now.
That's right.
We're going to need chimps.
We are going to need chimps. Chimps as the waiters.
Wearing little neckties. Make them do stuff. People love that.
Right. I love that.
Essentially, it is just, it's the next... It's the next iteration of Medieval Times. So next to Medieval Times here, we also have Pirates, which is a pirate theme theater show.
I saw the pirate one. Did you see that? It's fine.
It's a little bit more intimate than Medieval Times. You get a lot closer to the action. Somewhat impressive. So this train car thing is Wild West. So we have other moments in history.
Ooh, and you can have like cavemen. It starts off with cavemen and dinosaurs and like... Maybe like a I would love it. Oh, there's a woman just came into my apartment with bags.
And it goes, in the time of chimpanzees,
There was a monkey.
There was a monkey.
Butane, 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 butane.
But see, like, because medieval times, I wouldn't be surprised if medieval times is like, we're done, we're shuttering our doors, like we just can't keep the lights on anymore. Like that would make me sad, but I could imagine it happening. But I think it's a location thing. If we move this thing into downtown LA, we could have a caveman show, or we could have like a future show, an alien dinner theater. You could do like comedic moments, and you could do important moments in history and get all comedians to do it. And it's like a funny review with like dinner, like, why aren't there more of these things?
Did you see, sorry, tangent, segue. Did you see that CNN just launched like their own little comedic daily show panel?
What?
Oh, good.
What?
Yeah, dude. And you're like, wait, what? And I don't want nothing to do with that until I say one of the three comedians is Michael Ian Black.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, so have you watched this?
I have not. I just saw that it was a thing. And you know the other guy too, Roy Woods.
Oh yeah, Roy Wood Jr.
Yep, he's one of them. And the girl is who's the girl? Amber Ruffin. Yeah. So
what's it called?
What's it called?
Comedy News Network.
Yeah, CNN.
No way. Is it Comedy News Network?
More like Communist News Network. And that time that chimpanzee that was monkey.
Wait, the show. It's well. Have I got news for you?
Have I got news for you?
Adaptation of the BBC's stealing the BBC stuff. Long-running news quiz show. Joining Mar on Saturday. CNN's version tapped former Daily Show correspondent Ray Wood Jr., naming Michael Ian Black and Amber Ruffin as team captains shortly after that. So I guess it's somewhat of a comedy game show off of news.
Wow. I mean, I love seeing Michael Ian Black get work.
He's very political on the Twitters.
He is, I know. But, I mean...
He's also a big UFO guy.
And very funny.
Very funny. We didn't...
I always appreciate his shtick.
I love his shtick. Dude, fucking Burning Love. Burning Love is like... is one of the best things they've made post Wet Hot and post Stella.
What the hell's that guy's name?
Ken Marino?
Ken Marino. Ken Marino is great.
Ken Marino is like a treasure. He's such a dope, like a big goofy dope.
Didn't he sit across from us at a streamies?
Yeah, dude, because Burning Love. Burning Love kept winning and winning and winning, and he kept going back up and going like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we're winning everything.
Anyways.
Well, but I love Ken Marino. You guys have seen that middle-aged dad band that he does with David Wayne?
Oh, when they release, like, Weird Al will hang out with them and they'll write.
Yeah. You should, guys, please just, Elliot, check out Middle-Aged Dad Band. It's literally David Wayne and Ken Marino and all those guys from the state. They're in, like Joe said, they're just doing covers of songs, and like Weird Al will show up and Joe Latrulio showed up. They have like guests and stuff. But it's just like a nice thing to leave on in the background because it's just like cool yacht rock tunes essentially, but it's done by these very funny comedians and I love it. Please check it out. Middle-Aged Dad Band.
It's a great reminder of
/Valleycast.
/Valleycast.
Entertainers, like, you forget that like some of the biggest names, smallest names, like, they're in Hollywood for a reason. Like, everybody gets pigeonholed into these, like, okay, he's just this indie comedy funny guy, blah, 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 blah. They're all so fucking crazy talented.
Multi-talented, yeah.
It's like Jeff Daniels sat down on the Kelly Clarkson show. I don't know if you guys have seen this clip, but he brings out his guitar and he sings a song. And before he does it, they show a clip of Kelly Clarkson before the show, and they're like, yeah, Jeff Daniels actually, he wants to come on, he wants to play his guitar, he wants to sing a song. And she's like, really? That might be kind of embarrassing. And then he comes on and he fucking just destroys. He just casually throws down this song that he wrote It's beautiful. It's got meaning. He kills it on the guitar, and she's like, her mind is just blown away. And it's the same thing with these comedians. It's like people in entertainment make it up really high in entertainment because they're really fucking good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to be too, right? Because if you're trying to survive all the auditions and shit, it's like, must learn how to play guitar. It's like, well, here I go. Must be a painter.
Banjo, like Tom Hanks in the banjo, they're just all way more talented than you give them credit for. A lot of them, yes. Some are fucking just jawlines like Matt Rife, but
Steve Martin, yeah.
Like, wait, who did I say?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks and Steve Martin. Yeah,
Tom Hanks plays the banjo? That's fucking cool.
Really? Cool.
See?
Yeah, that's a great point.
What about what's the band? Mumford and Sons, that with those SNL guys, and they're all like doesn't what's his name? Who is Ted Lasso? Doesn't he play the banjo also? And he's real good at it.
Wouldn't doubt it. But
Yeah.
I always find it so refreshing, like because I fucking can't do that.
Yeah, check out, dude.
Fred
really dig into the. Oh yeah, Fred Armisen did that thing where he would go to Amoeba Records like on a random night, and he would just do a set where he would just do covers, and people would just be like, they wouldn't even be advertised. It'd just be like, were you there? Fred Armisen was singing Jesse's Girl, and it was fucking awesome.
Love it.
But yeah, Joe, dig into Middle Aged Dad Band again. I know you said you've seen it, but check out their latest stuff because it just gets better and better.
Okay.
All right, kids. Well, what a show.
What a wow.
Thank you. Just wow. Just
10
thank
out of
you.
10.
I miss Kevin. He hasn't been feeling well. I think he's feeling better. You know, whatever. We'll get him back in here. We'll get the kid back in here. We'll suck his youthful energy out of him.
Dude, he ain't a kid anymore. I'm telling you, dude, he's got these.
He's still a kid to us, though.
He's strong as hell. That dude, because of his rock climbing,
I know.
Really?
He's a sinewy freaking man monster now.
He comes at me with his climbing hands, and it's like one of those Ren and Stimpy close-ups with like
You can see every
you see
forearm.
every cracked piece of skin and like. All right. Well, love you, Kevin. Love you guys. Thanks
Bye,
for
everybody.
listening.
Goodbye.